First, in January 2007, mum of two, Pauline Fitzsimons, weighed a whopping 19 stone. Within 12 months, she'd lost 8 stone and dropped an amazing 7 dress sizes.
What's more, she remained that size ever since. She says that if you can't lose weight or keep it off, it's because you don't want it badly enough.
At the end of 2006, I just weighed my heaviest ever. I weighed over 19 stone. Then we had a routine health screening where I worked, and I had a cholesterol test. And my cholesterol was actually through the roof, and suddenly I became a lot more concerned about my health. I suppose I'd considered at that time that my life expectancy would be cut short. And I had in my mind that I'd probably live till mid-60s, 70s, and probably, would succumb to some, obesity-related illness like diabetes or heart disease or something like that. It was one day in work, and I was chatting to a friend. We were standing in the car park, and I remember that moment. And she said her sister was a cardiologist, and she'd had a look at my results and said, really, I could be dying tomorrow. It might not be 20 years' time. That it was so serious, and who was trying to stop me? And I went home and I looked in the mirror and I thought, there is no one trying to stop me. It has to be me.
And she's looking trim, and she's on our couch this morning. Pauline, a very good morning to you. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Good morning.
Bring us back to weighing 19 stone. You were what? You were about 38, 39 years of age.
Yeah, I was about 39 when I sort of was at my heaviest. I just touched in over the 19 stone.
And how did you reach that weight?
Well, it had been a gradual process. I would have said probably from about the age of 28 onwards, I'd sort of start putting on a stone every year. It reminded me every Christmas I'd weigh myself, and I seemed to have, slipped up that couple of pounds, well, 14 pounds each sort of year. I was never a very, very slim girl. I would have been size 12, and with a few times of slimming down a few times over the years. But sort of when I got to about 28 and I started concentrating on my career and my family, I sort of stopped paying attention to myself.
So you had 2 children in the meantime, and that probably added to the weight as well, did it?
Well, I'd love to say it did, but unfortunately not. I mean, I was probably 12 stone when I was pregnant when I got pregnant with my first daughter, and I actually was down about 12 stone after I had my second son, and they were 15 months apart, and I'd love to have, pinned it on that. But basically it was gradual, sort of, a result of overeating and poorly timed eating. Right. I ate a lot, ate very little during the day and ate most of my food in the evening.
And they would have been high-fat foods?
Yeah, high-fat foods, takeaways if I'd been working later on, all the rest, yeah.
You were piling on the weight, but your career was going from strength to strength, isn't that right? You were in a very high-powered job, and that was going well. And was it a sedentary job? Were you stuck at a desk, kind of?
Yeah, I spent most of my days, like I worked long hours a week. I'd got to an executive director role in AOL here in Dublin, and prior to that I was a director in the Bank of Scotland over management accounting in the UK. So I'd always I worked long hours, and I probably to some degree used that as an excuse then to justify eating late and having a takeaway or having a takeaway in the office. But yes, I was desk bound. I mean, I travelled quite a bit, and I spent a lot of time in India and the States, but mainly sitting in meetings and talking on the phone.
You were looking after, as you say, your job, you were looking after your career, you were looking after your children.
Yes.
You weren't looking after you. Then you got this bolt from the blue. Your cholesterol was high, you were told that. You thought then life could be cut short at 65, 70. But then somebody said to you, no, you could drop dead tomorrow.
Yeah,
and that frightened you.
Well, it wasn't so much that it even frightened me, because I think for myself at that moment I'd stopped caring about myself. But I had 2 young children, and I suppose I thought if I lived to 65, 70, I'll be around for them when they'd need me. But at the time they were 5 and 6, and I thought, my God, I'm not going to be there for them. I'm going to leave 2 young children without a mother. And as I say, my children were high on my values, which I think is then suddenly why it became important to me. I now linked being fit and healthy with, with being, being a good mother. Or it's not even being a good mother, because I didn't actually perceive I was a bad mother, but being there was essential to be that good mother. And so suddenly I decided, I really had to do something. And before then, I'd sort of, been resistant about going and training or going to a gym or taking up exercise, because I felt I was too big to train. I was embarrassed. And I thought, I don't care how embarrassed I am anymore. It just doesn't matter. So I was very lucky at that time when I made that decision. I also made some other life decisions, and I separated at that time as well. Mm-hmm. I was very lucky. I found, an excellent personal trainer, Damien Maher, who took me on. And, when I bit the bullet and I got up that gym.
And you stuck with it. What kind of program did he put you on?
Damien's a strength coach, so it was mainly a resistance training sort of program, which I was thrilled about, because, my God, I hated the treadmill. And I had this vision I'd have to spend my life in the treadmill, so very much sort of resistance training. I trained 4 times a week up there, once a week with Damien, and also completed some interval training. So really, the effort was around building muscle, speeding up my metabolism to, enable, quicker fat loss.
But of course, with the type of exercises that you're doing, you do tend to eat more. You had to change your diet as well, because no gym regime is going to work without the appropriate diet either.
Well, I mean, they say you can't out-train a poor diet, right? And success in fat loss is 80% nutrition. So I made a complete overhaul to the way I sort of ate. I got some, instruction from Damien. I then sort of, embraced that. I read everything I could about food. I had the accountability with my trainer, reviewing my food diary every week and seeing, how I was getting along. But basically, I completely changed the way I eat. And, it's amazing to say I eat more quantity-wise than I did before.
Wow.
Yeah. I eat probably not even significantly less calories. I eat between, when I sat down and worked it out, I don't count calories, but just out of curiosity, I've gone through that process just to see. And at the moment, I eat somewhere in the region between 1,800 and 2,200 calories a day to maintain my current regime, yeah. And that sort of maintains my weight. Some days you'll eat more and some days you'll eat less, sort of depending. So I eat lots and lots of food, and I don't go hungry. And when I started off down this road, because I was at the point I was at, I didn't go in there looking for a quick fix, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't go in there saying, I want to lose 8 stone, because I didn't even know how much weight I could lose. Before I started training, I actually looked at lap band surgery, some other alternatives, and I just didn't view those as healthy options. But I went in there with, I want a permanent, long-term solution, because this is about, my life and being around for my children.
I know you were making changes. You had separated from your husband, and there was a lot of changes going on in your life, so you were very enthusiastic about this. But 8 stone in 1 year sounds like an absolutely massive amount of weight for any one person to lose. I mean, without something like a gastric band, I have never even heard of somebody losing that. That's like a stone practically a month. How I can imagine
like a small person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, when you're that heavy, you maybe have 2 weeks where you'll lose a lot of weight. Yeah. But aside from that, other than that, I was just consistent. I lost this small amount of weight every week. And say one of the first hurdles I faced when I started off in April, I went to Florida on a 2-week holiday. And normally, 2 weeks holiday, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to come undone. So I got over to the States, and the first thing I did was went to the supermarket and I bought weighing scales. Mm-hmm. And also I went and got all the healthy food I needed. And I made the best choices available in the restaurants where we ate out. And most importantly, I was lucky enough to get a great programme from Damien to take along with me. And I trained. And one of the keys to it as well is I talked everyone on the holiday into training. So I didn't have to do it on my own. So it motivated me to get up there.
Tough to do in Florida when there's so many all-you-can-eat places available to you.
Yeah, but I could eat all that I wanted. You can eat masses. I eat masses amount of, salads, vegetables, lean protein.
We have a picture of you when you've gone through this transformation from start to finish, which you have there on the screen. Losing a stone a month, as I said, seems to me to be an absolutely huge amount. But you say that you've done it even though you're eating now a fair few amount of calories. We said earlier on that you believe that people who don't lose weight just don't want it badly enough.
Yeah, but there is absolutely, and I just really have to emphasise this, like, you know, I work with a lot of people who want to lose weight. There is, you know, there are benefits to being fat. And I don't look at anyone and say, oh, you don't want it badly enough in a dismissive fashion. What it tells me about that person is that they want something else in their life, you know, as badly. They're actually, because a lot of it is to do with, I think, believing is our values in life. You know, we're all disciplined, reliable, organised about what's most important to us. So when I see somebody carrying weight and they're saying, I don't want to lose weight, that just tells me that, you know, they feel they should, but it's not actually important enough to them. Because if you said to a mother, she goes, oh, I want to lose weight, and she hasn't, and you go, well, you know what, don't pick your kids up from school. She'd go, not a chance. You know, that's what's important to her, she will achieve. And what's important to any of us in life, we achieve without a doubt. And people will go to extremes to get the things that are important to them. I had a friend who was in college and she was 18 and she managed to fly halfway around the world to South America for a boy that she wanted to see, despite all the odds of her not being able to get the money. And it's like, you see people doing amazing things all of the time. Maybe they need money for operation for their child or something like that. Suddenly 10 million is not a problem. You know, so it's not saying, it's not to put the person down, because there is an area in their life they're excelling in, and it's just not high enough in their values, and it's not because they don't have the necessary traits or anything like that. So
you have to really, really want it, you're saying, and make that change inside for it to work, is that?
Yeah, you have to have a big enough why, and you have to see. So how you get around that is you understand the things that are important to you, and then you start to link, you know, what being fit and healthy would mean. And if your goal is short term or just in the near now, then it's not something you're going to sustain. So if you want to be fit and healthy because you want to be able to run down a beach in Hawaii at 101, you know, then you're starting to do it. Or you want to be around for your grandchildren's wedding, you know, things like, you know, sort of like, what do I want to do with my life? Why do I want to be like this?
Can I ask you, losing 9 stone, obviously your body must have completely changed. Have you had to have a tummy tuck or anything like that?
I've had no plastic surgery. And again, I'm not adverse to the idea of plastic surgery, but with the resistance training and all the rest, and because of, you know, the healthy nutrition I had. I mean, I did actually have some loose skin, but that's more or less sort of gone now. And she should have worn something sleeveless, but I think you have a photograph, I don't know if you're going to show it with my children, and you can see I'm in a sleeveless dress. But my arms are toned, my legs are toned. I wear a short skirt in the summer, you know, without any tights on, you know. Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm not perfect, but because, and a lot of that was down to, a large part of the diet is also having the healthy fats and, you know, taking the fish oil. And I was also lucky enough that Damien had some expertise in Damien Maher, that's my trainer, had some expertise in the area of fat loss, and also, you know, gave me some supplements as well to help.
If people need to find out more about how you managed to do this, and especially in such a short time, there is a website and there is a blog.
Yes, there is, yeah. So my website is mybigdestiny.com. So as a result of the journey I've been on, I've sort of taken, you know, I'm starting off now, I suppose, launching a new career, because I feel compelled to help share my story with people. And at least if they decide not to lose weight after it, they know why. It's not because of that. And also there's Damien's website, Be Fit for Life, and that's where I go and I train.
Okay.
But you're a happier and healthier person.
Well, I think that, you know, we're always, and this is, if I know I'm just cutting in, but the one thing is to lose weight, to be happy, you have to be happy today, right? If you're not grateful for where we are today and we realise that we're happy today, you're not, losing the weight isn't going to make you happy. It's about empowering yourself and realising the person you are within, whether you're 9 stone heavy or not. So that's love.
Okay. Well, Pauline, thanks for that.
Good to talk to you.